I just finished printing out these gears using PLA carbon fiber, and without a question I have to say that these are excellent. I printed all of these gears, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gears all at the same time. So for this whole lot it took 3 hours and 15 minutes on the Bambu Labs X1 carbon printer. And yeah, this is using the Bambu PLA carbon fiber filament, and I really like this. You can just see that there's almost no lines that you can see from the filament laying down. It is very nice and beautiful, and the gear does fit perfectly from what I can tell. This is a very, very, very nice fit. So I'm very happy so far. The reason I bought this unit is because of the carbon fiber printing. I have a different type of carbon fiber PLA-CF that I'm going to be trying probably later on. But for me, this is very good, and I am excited to see this whole product work when I get done. So after assembling all of the parts, it turns into this, and this is the spool winder. Now I still have some problems over here, which is the gear that goes back and forth. Everything printed right, but I still have not been able to line this up, so I still need to do a little bit of filing. Hopefully I'll get that done eventually. But with all the bearings in there, the carbon fiber, I printed all my gears, except for this gear here, which is on the spool. So if you notice, it does work really nice and smooth, and everything turns beautifully. The only problem is if you turn it too fast and then stop, this gear comes up and jumps and starts wearing things down. So these are carbon fiber, this is PLA. So what I think is we're going to need some type of bracket to be put in over here to hold down this piece over here. And I think we can just wrap it right around here and make a little U-ey that just would fit right on top of this. So if I put my finger there and go fast and stop, everything seems to work fine. So it just needs just a little bit of touch pull down over here, and I think that'll take care of that problem. Otherwise, I think the prints came out really good. Overall, I've had no problems with anything. The design that they did for the spool holder over here, I thought they messed up because it's so loose. See? I don't know if you can hear that. It's so loose that I wasn't sure that I would like this design. So I might have, I think if I had time, I probably would tighten this up a little bit, but it works. So and I reprinted it because first time I just thought I made a mistake, but it's not, and it does work. And there's, on this other deal over here, let me bring this into view, it also has a spool. So you can mount this on a board, and your source spool that's non-carbon fiber, non-Bambu Labs mounts here, and then you can spool it onto one of these that does have the RFID chip. At least that way, when you put it into the system, Bambu Labs will know, okay, this is PLA. The color might be wrong, or maybe not. It all depends on what you got on this spool here. So I need to buy probably a few more regular Bambu Labs spools, and that's probably a thing for the future. One of the other lessons I learned real quickly is when I printed this, I figured that all the gears should be carbon fiber, and I love the carbon fiber. The Bambu carbon fiber, wow, I just really like it. But when I printed the first tray for this, it almost worked, but at the edges here, it snags, it drags a little bit, it catches, and it's not very smooth. So I redid this in carbon fiber, which is this tray over here, and perfect. So I absolutely love carbon fiber. I think it does a really good job. Dimensionally, it's fairly stable. It doesn't shrink very much compared to PLA. So I'm loving it. So that goes on here, and maybe when I get this thing finished and figure out how to get this gear working correctly, because it's supposed to oscillate back and forth, and it's catching on something. Okay, so given that, I've also printed some very small stuff, which is located over here. And these are just small little knobs that are supposed to have screws in them, and then they tie down the arm that uses for the filament. So the filament comes from here, it goes through this hole in a tube, a Teflon tube, and then it gets wound on the winder over here. So I had a lot of fun doing that, and then I did some designs because I found out that, and where are they? The winder does not support the Sun Lu, and I buy most of my PLA from Sun Lu, S-U-N-L-U, and they have a much bigger spool diameter than this. So I found a couple of things online, and I printed one, and it didn't work. This diameter was okay, it fit in, but it couldn't go on this source thing. So I did a few by myself, no problems. That now works. Okay, the other things that you probably are interested in is this guy over here, and this is for desiccant. And these you can print out. They're available on things or printables. And what it does is allows you to put silicon desiccant in here. And then the next thing you do is you put it on the inside of the AMS, on the inside of the spool. And that way I get one for each spool. So since there's 4 spool capabilities, I got 4 of these. And I don't use the bag desiccant. What I do is I bought the desiccant gel, the orange gel from Amazon, and that's what I use, and pour that into here. But since I have extra packets, you know, I'm not going to throw those away. I'll use them for that. I also printed some upright desiccant holders, and I put those on the front of the AMS. So far, out of the things that I've printed, I've had one massive failure, and that was my fault. So, yep, that was a failure. And the nice thing about it is Bambu Labs caught it and told me that I had a problem with stringing, which is pretty nice. And then why was this a problem? Because I printed it upside down. So I don't know why they got into it, but you know, when I put it through the Bambu Studio, which is the slicer, somehow or another I put it upside down on the plate, and well, duh, you can't print filament in the air. So I had that problem. Another problem I had, which was a little bit distressing, was one of my failures when I was printing something. It said that the Z-axis was stuck. And I go, well, what's going on over here? Well, you know how the Bambu Labs X1 carbon poops. Well, most of the time it's supposed to poop, and it goes through the chute and then out the back. Well, this time it did not. So what the poop did is the poop fell into the printer and wedged itself on the back Z-axis screw. And of course, that's the reason for the problem. So once I got that thing taken care of and pulled it out with some pliers, everything worked fine. So one failure for me, one failure for Bambu with that poop that fell, and I had one layer that didn't really attach itself too well to the PEI plate, and that caused a problem too. But all my other prints, everything seems to work out really great, and I'm very, very happy with it at this stage.